What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're back at it with another prediction video. Today, I'm picking UFC London, otherwise known as Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady. It's taking place this weekend, March 22nd. Prelims start at 1, and main card starts at 4, at least for Eastern time zone. So let's go ahead and get into these picks. First up, we got Guram Kuwatsadeli versus Cowie Fernandez. Guram's coming off a decision victory against Jordan Vucevic, who's fighting on the main card, the same card, and Fernandez is coming off victory at the same card, I believe, against Victor Henry. I want to say, I'm not so sure. It was a TKO win. It was Muhammad Yahya, same people. But yeah, this one's pretty easy. I don't think Guram's going to finish Fernandez. I think Fernandez is quite a hard guy to finish. He's never been finished. But I do think it's safe to go with Guram and his wrestling. Just a decent background. Trains with Chimaev. He's 33. He's got the age advantage. He's just got more talent, I'd say. It's pretty easy here. It's pretty safe and comfortable to go here with Guram, especially by decision. Next up, we got Keelan Lochran versus Nathan Fletcher. Now, this is kind of like a fight where I'm not too sure who to pick, but I am leaning Nathan Fletcher, who's coming off a submission victory against Zigomanis Ramaskas, or however you say his name, Ramaska. And Lochran is coming off a loss to Jake Hadley, who was just recently cut. And he's making the fight on short notice on a weight class up. I also think it's safe to go Fletcher here. I think he's going to implement his grappling pretty well. I don't think he's going to finish Lochran, but I do think he will be able to out grapple him, out scramble him as well. And I think his boxing his kickboxing, sorry, not boxing, will make it nicely for him to get easy takedowns. I think it's pretty safe here to go with Nathan Fletcher. We're moving on up the card to fight nobody cares about. I'm not going to go over this too much. Bannon's okay. Tomar is bad. Bannon is fighting in the UK. Tomar is from India. Where is this fight taking place? The UK. So I think it's pretty safe here to go with Bannon by decision. Judges are going to be on her side. We already know that. So we're moving on. Andre Pulev versus CLD, Christian Leroy Duncan. Leroy's coming off a decision loss against Gregory Rodriguez back at UFC 304, and Andre Pulev, I think, is coming off a contender series win. Not good when you're getting decision wins on the contender series. It's not a great sign. I think it's pretty safe here to go with CLD by TKO in the first round. I'm imagining ground and pound. I don't think he's going to knock him out, but I do think it will be a TKO. Man, I'm kind of flying through these predictions, but it's all right. These don't got much to say about. Moving on, we got Marcin Tybura versus Mick Parkin, a ranked heavyweight clash. Both these boys are big, 6'3" versus 6'4". Yeah. I think this is an interesting fight to pick, but I think Parkin, I don't think he's that good. I just think had a very easy schedule on his record. Fighting Muhammad Usman, Lucas Bresky, who gets knocked out by literally everybody, and Tybura's coming off a TKO doctor stoppage win against Janata Deniz back at 309. I think it's going to be pretty safe to say that Tybura is going to get his wrestling going pretty early. I don't see much of Parkin doing much. Maybe he could get a early TKO, but I think it's unlikely. He doesn't have a ton of power for the heavyweight division, so I'm going with Marcin Tybura to implement his wrestling. Next up, we got one of the fights that I think could be fight of the night: Loner Kavanagh versus Felipe Dos Santos. Dos Santos is coming off a decision loss against Andre Lima, and I picked Andre Lima, who fought at the Vittori card. So maybe you start listening to me for predictions. I'm doing pretty good so far. But yeah, Loner Kavanagh's coming off a decision win against Jose Ocha back at the China card that took place at 3 a.m. my time. That was cool. I'm pretty sure it's safe to go here. Loner Kavanagh, I think his striking's better. He's fast. He's fast. He's quick. He's got great power. I imagine this one's gonna go to a decision though, because Dos Santos has a pretty good chin on him. He did get knocked down by Manel Cap, but Cap's probably one of the stronger fighters in the flyweight. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Flyweight division. Yeah, I think it's pretty safe here to go with Kavanaugh. Anyway, moving on, we move to the future prelim. This one I'm really excited for. We got Chris Padilla versus Jai Herbert. We're gonna go with Chris Padilla here. We're picking Taco. He's coming out. He's got 2 wins where he was the underdog in both against Rung Ju, and Rung Ju looked great against his last fight against Cody Steele. And Jai Herbert's coming off a win against Ronaldo Bedoya back at UFC Saudi Arabia. One. Um, I think Padilla is going to be able to implement his striking very early on, and I think he's going to knock down Herbert in the first round, and everybody's going to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then Padilla is going to take advantage of that, knock him down again in the second round, um, lock up a quick submission like Carlos Vera just did this weekend, um, and get the finish, get the tap out. I don't think Herbert's going to tap, but I do think he will go to sleep. Anyway, moving on, we move to the main card. I'm tired. It's Nathaniel Wood versus Morgan Charrier. This is an absolute banger of a fight. Got to go with the prospect here. He's just got both of them have actually insane resumes. As far as the amount of fights they've had in their careers so far. Um, this is a close fight. I think this is gonna be fight of the night because both of these guys love to bang. Pause. Resume. But Charrier does have that knockout power, but Nathaniel Wood, he's got a chin made of wood. It's hard to hurt him. I think he'll be able to make his wrestling work good. No, I believe he'll be able to implement his wrestling early on. But this is the closest fight on the card in my opinion. Moving on, this guy we were just talking about, Jordan Vucevic versus Chris Duncan. Now Duncan's coming off a submission win against Balaji Oki back at UFC Paris, and Vucevic is coming off a loss to Kuram Kuwatsadali. I think Duncan's a little questionable with grappling and striking. Yes, he has his moments, but when he goes up against somebody who's decent, he usually tends to fail. Got killed by Manuel Torres last year. Um, yeah, Vucinic, he looked honestly awesome against Guram until the second round started. I think Vucinic is going to be able to implement his game plan early on and deal with Chris Duncan. I don't think he's going to finish him, but I do think he will be able to make Chris Duncan look obsolete. Anyway, we're moving on to Molly McCann versus Alex Tynera. I believe Tynera is gonna get the decision win. She's coming off a decent showing on her Contender Series fight, so you know what that means. Molly McCann's probably gonna lose again. She goes on these skids, and I think this is a skid that she's gonna be on. I think it's gonna be hard for Molly to win. She's pretty tough. Yeah, she's almost undefeated. She finishes her fights most of the time. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty safe here to go with Tainara by decision because women's MMA usually goes to decision. Except for this weekend, there's 2 women knockouts back to back. It's pretty crazy. Moving on to the featured fight, we got Kevin Holland versus Gunnar Nelson. I'm still on the Holland hype train to a little bit of agree. Yes, he was disrespectful to Quentin Jackson. Yes, he looked terrible his last 2 fights. But come on, Gunnar Nelson. Are we really going to pick Gunnar Wilson? I mean, Holland didn't look great at middleweight because he wasn't cut. He was only cutting like 7 pounds, so it was kind of stupid for him to move up there and expect to win against a guy who like Rene de Ritter, who's 210 fight night, 30 pounds heavier than you. So I think it's pretty safe here to go by Holland by round 2 knockout. Yeah, I think he's going to be able to um, defend Gunnar Nelson's takedowns pretty easily. So I think it's pretty safe here to go with Holland. What are most people thinking? Most people are picking Nelson, but that's because Holland's been struggling. Trust me, this is my dog that I'm picking. This is the underdog. This is my underdog pick. You got to go with Kevin Holland. I know he's been looking spotty, but trust me. Just trust me on this. He's only lost to Roman Dolidze, who's actually looking really good right now after his decision winning against Vittori. And Rene de Ritter, come on, dude. It's like de Ritter's on a nice little, you know, run page. Nobody's playing him losing page. Got the best striking. He's probably the fastest striker in the welterweight division. And then JDM. I mean, come on. His 4 losses out of his last 5 it's like he's only losing to good guys. It's not like he's losing to people who are unskillful. Like if he would have lost to Mikhail Jacek, I probably would have picked Gunnar Nelson in this fight. But just because Kevin Holland, his strength of schedule was really good, I think you just got to go with him. Moving on, we got Jan to the co-main event. We got Jan Blachowicz versus Carlos Black Jag Olberg. Now Olberg is on a tear right now in the light heavyweight division. He's only lost was Kennedy Nezujuku back in his debut, and nobody's blaming him for losing that. And Blachowicz, he's on a bit of a dry spell right now. He hasn't fought since July of 23. And before that, it was a split decision loss to Pereira, which doesn't look like a terrible way to lose, because Pereira owned 2023 and 2024, late 2023. And before that, he had a draw with Magomed Ankalaev. That's not bad either. New light heavyweight champ. I'm pretty safe. It's pretty safe here to go with Jan Blachowicz. I think the calf kicks are going to be the biggest weapon for him. Olberg is going to be struggling with those early on. You're not going to knock out Jan. Jan's got a great chin. Um, I don't see Jan knocking Olberg out either. It takes a lot to knock out Olberg, and I don't think Jan's got what it takes at this point of Olberg's career. But I do think Blachowicz is going to tell Olberg, chill out for a little bit. You'll have your time, just not right now. And I think Blachowicz, and once I believe Blachowicz win this fight, I think they should do him versus you as the number one contenders fight for, because I do believe that Poatan and Ankalaev should run it back. He's such a dominant champ in such a short amount of time. I do think you got to give Pereira the benefit of the doubt. Moving on to the main event, I gotta be honest with you. I'm interested in this fight, but I'm not terribly excited, just because both of these guys usually struggle to have fun fights. I'm gonna go with Leon here. I think his grappling is gonna look great. I don't think Brady's gonna be able to do anything against him. I think Leon was completely embarrassed about the Bilal fight, just getting dunked on his head. He did look okay though. He didn't look that bad against Bilal in the round he won. Just the rounds that he lost, it just looked like he didn't care. So that's why I think if Sean Brady, his path to victory is to come out early, set up the grappling defense, take the early rounds on Leon, because Leon, if you can take his confidence away, it's easy money. There's no way you're going to lose. But I do believe Leon will be able to defend the early takedowns and get his leg kick game going. Teep kicks, jabs, all that boring stuff that Sean Strickland does as well. Yeah, I can't believe Brady's the favorite though. You can't disrespect the former champ like that. To all the people who are picking Leon by knockout, you guys are idiots. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me tonight, guys. Make sure you tune in next week to my UFC Mexico City picks. That's going to be a banger of a card. Not too many well-known names, but we got fights like Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober on there. Steve Erceg versus not Kai Kara. Sorry, I was thinking of 305. Brandon Moreno. I mean, that's a banger fight right there. That's a boxer's delight. So, yeah, make sure you tune in next week, and I'll see you there. Make sure you pick if you want to win. Oh, almost forgot. The favorite of the card that I'm picking, you got to go with Guram. Guram is my favorite of the card. This is my lock, sorry. Guram is the lock of the card, and my underdog of the card is Kevin Holland. If I am running a parlay, I am picking Leon by decision, Jan by decision, and Kevin Holland by knockout. That's what I'm doing if I'm running a parlay. I think these are also three very safe options. And also get you the most amount of money because Jan is a slight underdog. All these guys are slight underdogs. I am telling you, there is no way they will lose. Other than Blachowicz versus Olberg. That's the only one where I'm kind of meh, but trust me, Jan hasn't fought in 2 years. He's going to be on his A game. Holland, there's no way he loses to frickin' Gunnar Nelson who fights every 2 years. And then Leon, I think the champ's gonna have fire under his butthole. And I just think he's gonna be able to defend the early takedowns. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Last reminder, turn in next week around 5 or 6 p.m. for my UFC Mexico cards. Peace.